Hello, my name is Michael Walter. I am from Yellow Arrow Leadership. We run workshops for schools and young people. Today I'm going to talk about some of the key ideas from the book Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. This is one of my favorite books as it's one of those books where you can apply everything you learn to your life as you read it. Flow is written by the author Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He's an American psychologist. A great quote from this book is this one: "A person can make himself or herself happy or miserable regardless of what is actually happening outside just by changing the contents of their consciousness." So what is optimal experience? It's a state that people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. You may have had this experience going for an intense jog or a focused run where you're training for a marathon, or when you're learning a new language and you're practicing, or you're learning a new musical instrument and you're so focused on learning that new piece of music that time just goes by super fast. A really helpful diagram that is from this book is this idea of an X and Y graph with challenge versus skill. And to be able to get flow, you need to be in a fine balance between the two. Now, if you're at the bottom corner of that graph, where you're doing a task that has no skill, no need for skill, and no challenge, you might be feeling a sense of apathy. I often will feel this if on a Sunday morning I'm just scrolling through my Facebook without any goal in mind. I'm just there looking, not really thinking. And you have this sense of apathy. It's just nothingness because you haven't been challenged. Now, if you're doing a task that's very challenging, say for example, you're trying to order a whole meal in Spanish and you've never learned the language, you might feel a sense of anxiety. But if you're doing a task that's way too easy, say for example, you're a very good musician and you're playing chopsticks, you might feel bored. So the goal is to try and increase your challenge. If you're doing something that's too challenging, increase your skill. But if you're starting to get bored, increase the challenge. So you're constantly progressing up that graph. I was walking along the Merry Creek Trail the other day in Abbotsford when I heard a dad at the top of this hill, and he's calling out to his boys, "Well done boys, keep going, you can make it, you can make it." And this little boy finally gets to the top of the hill and he's like, "I did it, Dad, I did it." And his dad's like, "Well done." Then I heard this other voice call out, "Oh, I made it halfway." And the younger brother had made it halfway and he was walking the rest of the way. Now the brother said, "Oh Jimmy, if you changed to gear 1 it would have been easier." And then Jimmy said, "I wish there was a gear 0, it would have been way easier." And so in this example, the challenge is the hill and the skill is the legs, the muscles, and the use of gears. So Jimmy didn't have the knowledge that the gears changed to make it easier, so now he does, so he's learned, and next time he should be able to get to the top of that hill. A really good differentiation that comes out of this book is the difference between pleasure and enjoyment. Pleasure makes you feel good, but it's for the purpose of the body's rewarding us for achieving in our survival and our basic instincts. Whereas enjoyment is focused on things that lead to our own personal growth and development. And flow is focused around enjoyment and satisfaction. So something that a lawyer might find enjoyable, like researching evidence for a case and getting into deep volumes of books and finding that bit of evidence, they might find incredibly enjoyable because they're applying skill that they've learned over years at university and in their practice. Whereas somebody who's not part of that sort of way of thinking would not find that enjoyable at all. And so how do you find this sense of flow in your own life? One thing is to think about something you have always enjoyed. What's something that you find very satisfying? It might have been something that you did when you were a child or as a teenager that you might have let go since progressing through school and post-school. Then start doing it, and don't do it for any other reward than the activity itself. Don't think I'm going to get money from this or any of these sorts of things, because that will just deplete that energy and you won't get that enjoyment or that sense of flow. Once you've found that activity, put micro objectives and goals around it, and this will help you develop in your skill. Then you might want to have some sort of feedback. So if you're doing art, maybe it's you have an Instagram account and you get feedback based on your work, or you have a teacher who helps you progress in your skill. I highly recommend the book. I found it really enjoyable when I first read it, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Bye.